Hey guys, welcome back to MarkDillon.com. So this is part two of my little experiment on should you pay for porn. As you know, in my first video, I was talking with one of my friends this weekend who works for one of the major studios, and we were having a little debate as to the causes of online piracy, particularly when it comes down to porn. And as I told him, well, first of all, he thinks that it's because so many people just don't realize that they don't consciously realize porn is something that needs to be paid for. I said, well, I think everyone knows that. It just happens to be either one, there's so much free content out there that they almost feel stupid paying for it. Two, they just don't care. Three, they realize that it's stealing, but they are just not sympathetic because of the nature of the content. Even though they enjoy it, they still don't think that it's something that is deserving of their money because it's porn. But either way, my hypothesis was that it's not that people don't recognize that they need to pay for it. It's just that they don't care to pay for it. Basically, they're saying, "Yes, I know I steal it. It's no big deal. It's just porn." That kind of thing. Anywho, so what I did was I offered you guys a special discount available through my website, markdillon.com, and surprisingly, there was about 10 or 11 of you who signed up using it, which surprised me. I didn't think it would be that many, actually. Granted, it's no huge number, and there was no mass exodus from YouTube over to my website to sign up. But there were a lot of people who actually did go look at the post, and out of that group, about 10 of you signed up. And actually, three or four of you signed up for year-long memberships, which is pretty great. I mean, you get an entire year for $100. That breaks down to like $9 a month. That is as cheap as you can get, unless you want us to pay you to watch it. But if you don't want to do the year, you can sign up for 1 month at $19.99, which is pretty good. And that discount will be available for a while. But so more importantly, I didn't want to insult any of you that chose not to go and sign up for it if you do look at porn for free, because, as I said, I've looked at plenty of free porn too, but I've also paid for a lot of porn. Things that I really enjoy, I pay for the memberships, and I've done that since I was, 18 or 19 years old. But have I looked at free stuff on the tube sites? Of course. And there's also people, I got one very sweet email from a guy who said, Mark, I'd really love to be able to pay to watch your stuff, but I lost my job, money's really tight right now. And I said, listen, my video is not directed to you. There are people who are really struggling. But there's a lot of you out there who are doing just fine, and you still choose not to pay for any of the content you watch. And again, I'm not mad at you. We're still friends. I would still talk with you. I would still go out and have a cup of coffee with you. And granted, I'd be holding onto my wallet the whole time, but I'd still go. We'd have fun. We'd talk and we'd chit chat. But on a serious note, guys, I just want you to stop and think. It is an industry that, as a whole, still generates huge amounts of revenue. There's no question about that. Porn is probably the top commodity online. But there are a lot of smaller studios that really struggle. And some of the big ones that have gone through very hard financial times because of the transition to online streaming and things, which made piracy so much easier. So just, you want to think about that at the end of the day, somebody's livelihood depends on that. My livelihood doesn't depend on that because, and most porn models, it's not like this is a lifelong career for them. And for me, I never got into this for the money, and I don't need the money. I have a very comfortable life, and whether you guys pay for a scene or not doesn't really affect me. But there are a lot of people who make this an entire career: producers, directors, the small studio owners, and the online piracy does really, really cut into their ability to monetize, make this a lucrative business. And you just want to keep in mind, at the end of the day, when you don't pay for it, you do take money out of somebody's pocket. So I just want you to think about that. I'm not trying to call you a thief per se. It's just that some of you steal porn and you don't see anything wrong with that. And listen, I get it. It's not the equivalent of going into a bank and robbing somebody. And I know plenty of people who are very generous and very charitable people with a lot of money who still don't pay for porn. They're not bad people. By no means am I saying if you watch free porn you're a bad person. But one guy in particular, a good friend of mine, and a real friend, not some of you always say, oh, this must be a friend. No, he's a real friend. He makes roughly $1 million a year. Great guy, very charitable. But we've had this same conversation about piracy with porn. And he says, I love it. I watch a lot of it, but I don't ever, it would be stupid to pay for it. There's so many free sites out there. And I look at him and I say, you know what? You'll go in and you'll buy a bottle of wine for $500, but you won't spend $30 a month, or if you sign up through my site, significantly less, to support a studio that produces content that you self-admittedly really enjoy. Kind of silly. It's like saying you went into a liquor store, you saw this bottle of wine you really liked, so you put it in your attaché case and just walked out. Now, would you go before the judge and just say, I really love this bottle of wine. It was beautiful, great vintage. I knew I would enjoy it, but I just don't feel I should pay for it. So if the logic doesn't work there, why is it okay to say I have the money to afford to pay for what I choose to watch online, but I just am not going to do it? That's the point I'm trying to get across to you guys. If you can afford it, and you enjoy the content. I'm not saying sign up for every studio, but if there's one you like, pull out the wallet, open it up, wait for the moths and the flies and the spiders to clear out and the dust. Pull out the card, wipe off the dust off the numbers, enter your numbers into the site, and you'll have a membership. You'll sleep better at night and you'll enjoy the content. And you'll know that you support the people who actually worked hard to create it for you. And a lot of times people kind of roll their eyes at that because they don't think of it as a legitimate job that these people are doing. And let me tell you, it is a legitimate job. And some of these guys work very, very hard to run their studios and pump out the amount of content they do. So just keep that in mind. So again, you can go to markdillon.com. There's a banner on the front page. You can click it. You'll get your special join price. And there you go. And again, I would really love to continue to read your comments, whether they be by email or you leave them in the comment section on my site, as to why you think that porn is worth paying for, or why you think you shouldn't have to pay for it. Again, I'm not saying you're a bad person if you don't pay for it. And part of that is because some of these tube sites are actually owned by one huge mega studio. So they've really greatly exacerbated the problem of online piracy. So, if the studios are doing it, they couldn't beat the pirates. They figured they'd join them and try to make money one way or another. So, anywho, I'm not calling you a bad person. I'm not calling you a thief exactly. But, think about it. Support the studios you enjoy. Certainly, if there's a model you really enjoy, send a little bit of money to that studio. $20 a month, you can do it. There you go, guys. Part 2, should you pay for porn? My answer is the same as it was last time. I think you should, at least some of it. Thanks for tuning in. Check out markdillon.com, get your discount. Y'all have a great night.